Welcome, everybody, to tonight's broadcast of the INE Network. My name is Dr. Lee Jensen. I'm the founder, and we've been doing this direction for talent and creative people since 1983. And we have a 7-step program of going from an amateur to a master of something. And that process is trying to help people find their way. And then once they find their way, the real challenge is staying in the saddle. If success came easily, it would be a different story, but it almost never does. The really good things in life require an uphill kind of effort, and that's so I kind of wrap my life around. I live in the Utah Valley, 7 majestic mountains all around our valley here, and so I came up with the idea of Success Mountain quite a long time ago, and I've been promoting that idea ever since. We get together, I've been doing this now 9 years, our webinars, once a week we get together and visit about techniques and concepts, some, but mostly about business ideas. From a hobby into a business has been our model and our format for many years, and I think it's the smartest way to start a business because there's just a lot easier way to do that, less risk and a lot more fun, and something that you can actually do that you can really enjoy. And so as we started into this series for this trick to better selling, this seminar series I'm going to polish over the next few years and just literally groom it so that it's my beginning format, kind of the last show of the season before we start again in September. September 12th, 1983 is when I formed Paragraph Corporation. I signed the paperwork on the kitchen table of a friend of mine, and just grabbed my neck and just wondered, oh, what is going to happen now? I was a general dentist for 15 years, and I stumbled onto building the dental drill straight like a pen, and named it the Paragraver. And then I started the company around the idea to try and build it and distribute it. And since 1983, we've had quite a journey. I'm working on the story of it all because it's just one of those great overnight success stories that just sucks about everything out of you. You've got to keep it in the air and keep it going. I remember the day we started our 800 number service. It was early in the concept, and you could buy the 800 number and then pay for your customers to call you. And that process is all, well, God, that scared me. When I sat down to get ready to sign those papers, both of my 2 major counselors, Woody and Jack, both just having a fit. That the 800 number service is not something you can afford to do. And yet we launched that 800 number, and we've had that same 800 number on now for about 32 years, I think. And I think that says a lot of credibility about a concept and an idea, that if it's got that kind of longevity with it, then there's something about it. The potential that I think we stumbled onto is horrendous. If there's 80 million baby boomers out there trying to figure out how in the hell can I now retire, about the only way left is to start a profitable hobby, turn it into enough to a business so that you can then write off your play and your travel and your equipment and your training and everything, because it's your business reason to do it, and let Uncle Sam then kind of offset the effort to kind of get your company started. But the real trouble for most people has been that most of us never have to sell anything in our lives. We just get a paycheck every Friday, and that's it. And so we sell and trade once in a while when we're trying to get a better job, or when we're in a tough situation and we need to kind of work things out. And in most cases, most of us don't sell overly well. And so what we're trying to do is help people do a better job of that. It suddenly started to zero in on the idea that, you know, it would be really wise if everyone could learn to sell themselves better. It takes a lot for me sometimes to convince a new artist type person to quit worrying so much about the art itself and do a better job of selling yourself. because the price and the value of all art depends on the name and reputation of the artist. That's the most important element in the equation. And too many of us just ignore that. We think, no, it's the painting I've done or the carving I've done or the artwork I've done. That's the art part that people buy. And I'm going, no, no, no. They buy from you. And they especially continue to buy from you. We're going to start talking tonight about, this is the special sessions for I&E members. And all of you should be members of the I&E network. If you're not, just give Tammy a call and she can work things out for you to get you in the membership. But I'm going to build this part of the company into the Profitable Hobby Circle and the I&E network framework. This is kind of my last go-around. I'm at a point now in my life where we've done well, and we've had an incredibly good time playing with this concept. But underneath all of you is a vein of gold. Every one of you that are listening to the show tonight, either in the film strip or over on my Google Plus account or over on YouTube, there's a vein of gold under every one of you. And I think it's possible with the size of the economy in just the United States alone to pull 100,000 a year of sales underneath every one of you. There's kind of two businesses going on here. There's the business of the art that you're making and whatever you're producing and signing and selling. But there's the business of the equipment. And for 5 years, I went out and sold carved eggshells. I went all over this country selling carved eggshells. I did every show. The only one I ever got turned around was turned down for the Masters in Disney World and Smithsonian. Those two shows didn't think carved eggshells were good enough to be in their art shows. So, but everything else would take me easily, and I got so where I could just slam dunk my sales in those shows. I'd go out, I leave dentistry early, get on a plane, go have a show, and make my money and go home. I was just playing. I was just having an absolute ball doing it. And then I was doing a show. I liked shows, art shows that were fundraisers. Fundraisers that raised money sold to doctors for hospital fundraising efforts. And take a little while before they believe I really was a dentist. And then as soon as that happened, then I was kind of on the inside. And I learned how to sell these guys. And so I just had such a good time. And right after the show in Santa Ana, California, this kid came over and he says, Lou, he says, I've never seen anybody have such a good time and make so much money in a weekend art show. He said, good Lord, he says, I'll pay you anything if you'll teach me how to carve eggshells and how to do what you've learned how to do. Get me that equipment and show me how. And I told him no, again, like I told a lot of people. I didn't want a competitor. I knew I was on to something. I just didn't quite know what. So finally, on the plane going home, I went, what the hell are you doing, Jensen? This is going to hurt you if he learns how to do it and spreads it out a little bit more. So what? Get it. And the kit came together. I even came up with the name of Paragrave at that time. And I thought, yeah, that might actually work. Now, it took me another year to get that put together. Nothing good is easy. It takes time. I'm still a very busy dentist. I'm just hell-bent on finding a way out, but I couldn't afford to do it unless it made more money. It didn't make any sense to quit drilling teeth and making that kind of income if I couldn't find a way to either enhance my income, or at one point I even dreamed of outdoing it. So from that moment on was when things started to really change in my life. And I would be willing to bet that every one of you that have done any event marketing, if you've done your artwork and put it out in front of the public at a live event, someone, while you've been out for those 2 or 3 days, someone has just drooled over what you're doing. And they don't want to buy your stuff, but they want to learn how to do what it is you're doing. And it takes a little while to learn to see that. It takes a little while to spot the potential that somebody wants to learn to do it rather than buy your work. And most of you have hesitated at that. Most who get involved with us don't sell systems. Once in a while, you'll get a referral from a friend or a neighbor or a family member or somebody, and you call Tammy and go through and get a sale. But it's not been something we've gone after. We did it early in the company, a distributor dealership kind of program, and it just got to be a can of worms. And so we've avoided it as well. It's not something that we've just wanted to do much with. And I'm just sitting back going, yeah, but what if we could make it work? What would it do for our database and our network of end users if they suddenly began to realize there's an extra 50 to 100,000 a year in sales that's just within that much reach of each of you? Might change a few lives. So here we go. Let me launch my show for tonight, and we'll see if we can pull you a little bit closer, okay? What I'm going to do is, you guys are kind of the guinea pigs for going through and doing this series, but what I'm going to do is go back, tighten it up a little bit, and then re-record it on a better basis so that I've got it up on YouTube. So it will be a tool for anytime someone says to Tammy, I want to learn how to sell systems. This will be the beginning process. These 8 shows will show people kind of how to get going. And so we'll go at it and go through it, but I want you to kind of realize what I'm doing is opening the door on the inside of the company now. This is what I would think is trade secrets. These are things that have made us an awful lot of money, and I don't often share this stuff. So you guys, I would appreciate if you'll keep it to yourself as well. This is for your benefit. And in the process of trying to do a better job of this whole thing, what I'm after is the relationships that will continue to grow the Inspiration and Encouragement Network. I still think that this is my very best thinking. If there's any one thing that can help an artistic, creative person succeed, it's connecting with other people who are also learning to succeed. This like-minded thing is a really powerful tool. When you start getting involved with people who are climbing the same mountain that you're climbing, then all of a sudden now you've got a whole new opportunity brewing underneath you. Tammy has been the owner of Proper Hobby since 2002. And in her mixture with people out there, we bump into all kinds of folks. And the reason that people are motivated to buy one of our systems is about as wide of range as there are people. But the really fun part about it is the process that it takes to learn to sell one of our packages is pretty similar. And so what I'm trying to get you to do now is rethink the selling process. Whatever you've thought in the past, I'm going to try and see if I can't bend your thinking a little bit. From the first 3 shows, what I'm wondering is whether you've figured some of this out. The real thing going on in learning to sell, excuse me, is when you put your brain in a category where you just will not back up. You're going to learn it, you're going to pour it on, and you're going to keep doing it until you get to a point of some degree of success. Because after you've done some things in your life, then you have the self-confidence. It's something you have to earn. It isn't even something that you can buy. The next step that I proposed in the show 2 was to learn by doing. There's just no way around that. And 3, what we sell as a company is hope. Most of the 80 million people who are trying to find a way to retire don't have enough to retire on. And so they're looking for an opportunity. They're looking for some way to go. And we think we've got about as good an option as there is in the marketplace. So as we start into show 4 tonight, what we're looking for is the inside story. Are you ready to learn something really new? I'm hoping I can kind of sweep you aside tonight and have you realize it. Oh my hell, that's what Lou and Tammy have been up to all these years. You learn by doing. I don't know anything better than this sequence. You do it and you do it again and you do it again and you do it again, and then suddenly it starts to work. But it requires more doing than most people are willing to make. And that's the part that I want you to begin to understand. Every old wise salesperson will tell you it's a numbers game, which means gradually you stack the numbers in your favor. There's just no way not to learn to sell if you're willing to go make the effort. Now, the real trick to what I'm proposing now is a process of selling each other. What I see that's so fantastic about social media is it connects us all. We're a gang. We're a force to be reckoned with. And as we support and encourage and inspire each other, we are going to be more visible together. And it's how Tammy and I have sold for years, was that I would brag about her, she would brag about me. One or the other of us would alternatively take the money and take the sale. And so it really is a powerful technique. I was looking for ideas for the show and stumbled onto this one. Isn't that just an awesome graphic? Oh, I just loved it. And I pulled up I&E Selling Circle on Google. I just typed it in just to see what it was there. And look who's here. We're there. And we're represented really, really well. And we're growing there. We're right there as well. So it grows almost without trying when you're in the process of doing something. Steve Jobs, you have to accommodate to what people dream of to produce the product they want and sell it to them, giving them the satisfaction of buying something they dreamt of. If we begin to realize that what you're really selling is a dream and not focus so much on the product, then I think you will begin to see results. I want to mimic one of my favorite stories in the whole world is Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. You remember when they did that movie so many years ago? It was such a fun movie. And this is Butch Cassidy country here. My grandmother knew Butch Cassidy. And they lived up in a place above Vernal that was called the Hole in the Wall. And it was so isolated, and yet it was really hard to get in there without them seeing you coming. So they were very, very safe in that particular neck of the woods. And I just got the idea of they called them the Wild Bunch, and I went, well, that kind of fits for us. That probably would work as well. But if we build a gang, we've got a chance of doing something that very few product concepts have ever had. At some point, we're all going to be gone. And the dream of my life now is that this concept keeps going. The value of something produced by the hand of an individual and traded in the economy has really been a significant concept for centuries. And now with social media and artificial intelligence, the possibility is showing up that won't exist anymore, that marketplace will actually die. And I don't want to see that happen. I think it's going to go just the opposite. I think things made by the hand of a human being are going to become the most rare things on the face of this earth. All of you know that I lost my sister a month ago. Jocelyn struggled her whole life long. She had curved spine, and this was her first surgery. When we were all just little kids. My brother Doug is also a dentist, and I was 11 years old here, not quite 12, and this is how Jocelyn's life has been. Her entire life has been a real struggle. And from that time to now, Jocelyn had so much trouble to deal with. And she finally fell in love, met Chris Gardner, my brother-in-law, and fell in love with Chris, and the two of them had been married 30 years. And Jocelyn was just short of 60 years old when she passed away now. And I want to dedicate the beginnings of this program and this effort to the memory of my sister. The most amazing thing about Jocelyn is as much trouble as she had, she spent the first 14 years of her life in Primary Children's Hospital. And she was always upbeat, positive. In spite of everything that she wrestled with, she had a good attitude. And these two kids were so good with each other. Pulling Chris into what we're doing here now and getting him more and more involved. And you will enjoy his nickname's the bookkeeper. Chris takes care of, tries to take care of my money and keep me out of trouble. And is that ever a big job or what? That's a big job. But he's making that effort. So you'll get to know him as time goes on. One of the things that just got Joe through everything was Charles Schulz. And somehow he managed to touch so many people's lives. His cartoons and his concepts became so iconic. And I was reading through more about him. We got his family lives here in Utah Valley, and he says, I started as a hobby, and the more I did, the more I enjoyed doing it, the better it all got. Doesn't that kind of sound like us? Similar kind of concept, and it's a good one. You can take any idea and turn it into business. He picked up that thread of interest and never let go of it. I read this, I just couldn't help throwing it here. Sometimes I lie awake at night and ask, where have I gone wrong? Then my voice in my head says, this is going to take more than one night. And every time we got so much Snoopy stuff in our lives here, the house is just full of Snoopy everything. Chris could never tell Joe no when it was time to go to Hallmark and pick up some more Snoopy stuff. But I just love his concepts. As they caught on, he just pushed them even further. And that's kind of the signal. I want to use the habit pattern of someone else and their success to help us learn how to build our individual success. Regarding the rejection letter you sent me, I think that might be a misunderstanding. What I really wanted you to do was publish my story and send me $50,000. Oh, what a sense of humor that guy had. He was so good at it. But the idea is to get $50,000 and to learn the power of selling, because nothing happens unless something's sold. It's just the most important concept to get a handle on. Instead of just trading for a paycheck, let's see if we can't do a better job of selling our work. Too many people say exactly the wrong thing at exactly the wrong moment. And I've just got to try and curb that and help you a little bit to see what might work a little bit better for you. And get ready for this show. I found the journal page, and it wasn't in my journal, and I can't figure out how come it was just over in some other papers, because it's definitely a journal entry. And it said I'm 48. I've been the president of Paragrave now for the last 10 years, and we have 6,000 members. And then I go on to talk about the things that I've discovered so far. So from 6,000 to 30,000 has been the course in the history of 3 10-year periods. Founded in 1983, I was 38 then. 10 years, I was 48. We had 50 employees and about 3.8 million in sales at that point. But I'm 70 now. And I'm drawing the most serious line in the sands that I have ever drawn. I want to teach those that want to. If you don't want to participate in the selling of picked packages and the changing the course of people's lives, then that's okay. I don't mind. All I want is serious people that will actually dig in and give it a try, okay? This is the most important challenge of my entire career. It's the one thing that I really want to see get a good start. Can you imagine if you had all your bills paid and no major demands on your time, and you had 100 grand in the bank, how different would your life be? Could you maybe chase a dream then? Could you go after something more than what you thought you might be able to do? What I want to do is make this concept a reality, because we have something that's so good. It's the one little package that really does do what it says it will do. And I'm offering a grand prize to kind of launch this. The grand prize will be that the first person in our network, the INE member, that gets to 100,000 in sales, you can go, I'll take you on any trip anywhere in the world you want to go. We'll go together. Go out and see how things are and go wherever it is that you decide that you want to go. So some one person is going to do this. I've done this several times in my life. And there's some things that really motivate some people, and some things that don't motivate anybody. But this one should. This one should be the trip of a lifetime. And so we'll hang it out in front of you. Tammy and I'll keep track of the numbers. We'll help you know where you are and how you're doing. It will be our average sale in our 32-year history, 35-year history, has been $2,200. That's our average sale. And it's going up a little bit. So you're looking at probably about 50 sales, 50 people that you've got to find and sell them something in order to pull in 100,000 sales. Okay? But if we take off on start this little adventure, what I'm going to try and do is teach all of you to learn how to fly. The number one law, however, is we're going to do it my way. I'm so tired of people trying to tell me what I'm doing wrong, and I'm just not tuned in for that anymore. I think I know how to sell our packages and how to sell our program, and if you want to learn and go with me and be a part of my gang, there was 2 or 3 times several people took on Butch Cassidy's leadership, and it didn't go well. And I'm a bit of an outlaw, so we're going to do it my way. When I learned to fly, I had a pilot's checklist. Anybody think why you would have a checklist when you're going to get in an airplane? Every time you get in the airplane, you're supposed to go through that checklist, because there's so many things that have to be double checked before you go and put yourself at harm's way, get that airplane and take it off the ground. You're really taking a lot of chances if you don't double check everything before you leave the ground. And there's so many people out there that think they know how to fly, but they've never actually done it ever. And you really have to begin to kind of measure the circumstances of what in hell am I really getting myself into here. And I'm hoping, desperately hoping, that most of you won't tell yourself that you can't do this. It's just a different product, that's all. It's the same process as anybody else. And to me, it's an intersection with opportunity. It's a time where everyone in the world is looking for extra income. But if you come at it with a really poor link here between the product and you of getting the job done, you're going to struggle with it every time in this weak link. And we talked about this earlier. Can you sell or can't you sell? Do you have a decision? Have you made a decision? If you can't, you're going to learn how to do better. Please don't tell yourself you don't dare do it. I don't care what age you are. I don't care what circumstances you have. I think I can teach you how to sell. Okay? And if you don't make an effort, you won't ever know, will you? So, this is going to be a learning to fly exercise. We've been trying to zero in on a brand, an iconic brand for Tamarine. And one of the things that we've really entertained a lot lately is Dreamkeeper. Tammy's been on the phones for 25, 26, 27 years, a long time. And what Tammy seems to me that she does the most is help people stay in the saddle. She's the keeper of the dream. The number one word in the economy is transformation. And if you take the butterfly as a concept and you mix it with dreams and you realize that this transformation from ugly worm chrysalis up to a beautiful butterfly, that's a really, really iconic concept. And so as we begin to develop this, every one of you, I want to get an iconic brand for each of you established. This progressive team is going to sell with social media. You can sell in any fashion you want, but I want you to do well and become proficient with social media. It's the one place that I'm getting a pretty good handle on. I really enjoy it immensely, and I think the future is just unbelievable with what's coming into the economy. So what the image is that you choose and what we come up with the graphics and the fonts and everything else that begins to become your brand, we're going to do the bookkeeper for Chris. I'm Firestarter. Ron Schneeberger is the only one that I'm aware of that has also done this, is he's zeroed in on you be a better you. And then what we'll do is promote each other. When we get on Google Plus and we work with Facebook and other social media, we're going to get better because we're going to be a circle of talent with the I&E network, and we're each going to have an iconic brand. And as we get started, this is kind of my mental image of teaching you how to fly. You're going to go even higher and further. And all we're going to do is get you up in the stratosphere and then kick you off and give you a launch, okay? I want you to find 10 images that really touch your heart in the next week. Within the next week, find 10 images that you really like and put them in a separate file. They've got to be something that really touches you somehow. And I don't care what those images are, but collect at least 10 of them. And then I'm going to show you kind of how to boil this down, because your brand, your iconic image is huge. Whatever those images are that really turn you on, what we've got to do is gather those together and begin sorting out who are you. Before you dive off that damn diving board, we want to know what we're doing here. It can kill you to dive that far. So, if I tell you I have to kill you, is that the secret? Whatever graphics that really catch your image and catch your head, that's what we want to start to build. I think we can help you avoid the hazards of the selling process. We're not going to require a damn dime. I'm going to require some work and some diligence and some patience and persistence, but it's not going to be anything that you've got to take a financial risk for. And in the marketplace, that's also rather rare. I've had a little dream. I've mentioned it a time or two on 2 or 3 shows, and I'm just got so fired up getting this particular show ready, and I've just said, you know what? I am going to finish this dream. I am going to go get me. They make these nifty little 2-seater airplanes. They're just incredibly easy to fly. Now they've got a 2-motored one. And in Utah, that's kind of a smart thing to have twin engines when you're out gallivanting around. But I'm not sure I dare get that off the ground, man. That's a little bit hairy. But the one I'm really interested in is the Icon. And the Icon can fold its wings up, and you put that silly thing on a trailer, and it will float and play and putz around. It's nothing more than a little high-powered glider. It's not too hard to learn to fly, apparently. And it's just a plaything. But what a fun thing to play with. What a great little idea to go out and kick around and go see all of the western United States flying around this way and putzing around in my little airplane. So I'm going to hang that thing up in front of me. As I begin to try and help you learn to sell, I'm going to match you. And what we're going to do is see what I can do here. I need about 125, 130,000, maybe 150 to get this little toy. So I'm going to pay for it out of sales. So what I want you to do is to think of something you really would like to have in your life that in the next 3 or 4 years you might not likely ever have otherwise, and let's go after it. You hang yours up, and I'm going to hang mine up, okay? And then we're going to go after it together and see what we can actually pull off. Not sure about this one. But isn't that the cutest little damn airplane ever made? Holy crap. I've had quite a few airplanes in my life, and this one is the toy. This is just going to be so flippin' much fun. So now we say, well, just a dream at this point. But I've managed to play with this concept of dreaming to reality for a long time. I've lived it. And so what I want you to do is start to pay attention to these little tips, these little tricks that really begin to make a difference in who you are and how you come across in the marketplace. No more saying the wrong things at the wrong time. I want you to watch for, in this little collection of 10, watch for every color and every shape that you like. We're going to try and make this icon of yours stand out like crazy, something that is really easy to see and really easy to notice and even easier to remember, okay? Something that then defines you. I got like this, and I thought, oh, I'd take that envelope off, and I could put Doc there or Jensen there or just about anything, and make that be a button that then leads right smack to you. Then I saw the Earth globe, and I went, oh, damn, I really like that. Look at that. What I would like to do now is spread our concept to the rest of the frickin' world. When we play on Google+, we mix with the world in a way that has never been possible before. And I just thought, oh, man, wouldn't it be fun if you had clients in other countries and you could pay or tax write-off to go promote your company and your concept? I think we have the best little quiet business on earth. It has just not made a big splash ever. And it's baffled Ken Brown and I both. Ken's our most successful member. Ken has done better with it financially than anyone else. And he sells kits, and he sells training, and he sells his own work. And he's made $150,000 a year for I don't know how long. And Ken's concept of personalized perfume and wine and liquor with calligraphy has been just brilliant. It's the one thing that really does turn some decent dollars. I had a phone call from Robert Lees, one of our masters in Napa Valley, California, yesterday or the day before yesterday, I guess it was. And Robert says, I'm riding around in my hot rod, and I just couldn't think of anybody else that would enjoy hearing from me right now but Lou Jensen. And so we're both old car nuts. We love doing cars. And he just finished his hot rod, got it all done, got the flames on it and everything. And I said, Robert, I said, let me tell you about a new idea I'm playing with. And I says, if you still got all your editing equipment and all your ability to do that, because he made all our videos that are over on Russ Larson's YouTube account, 3,100 members of that YouTube account, and what we want to do is build that under Tammy now. Same kind of concept. And a long time ago, I showed Robert, I met him at a trade show, gave him our DVD. He went home, watched it, came back that next day, and he's in a wheelchair. Robert fell out of a tree and broke his neck 30 years ago. So he's got some serious issues that he struggles with. But he also is always positive and always upbeat. And when I came out to sit down, I kneeled down in front of him, and he just grabbed me around the neck, and he says, Doc, I don't know where you're going, but I'm going with you. And Robert says, what a great idea. Let's go do it. Let's build this sales team. Let's put something together that really has some impressive numbers and results when we get done. Now, it's going to be easier for you than you might think. Yesterday, Chris and I went to Costco, and we bought the new executive membership at Costco Wholesale. And the young man that we were visiting with when we were standing there, all I did was ask him, how long have you worked here? He says, oh, over 15 years. And then I started talking to him about retiring, and I said, the smartest thing you can do, young man, is now, start now, pick a hobby, pick something that you really love doing, and then gradually start building it into a business so that when you retire, you can step from your business career over into your profitable hobby. It was the slickest conversation. Chris is still chuckling about it because we we talked about it all day. This young man was so wound up, and he was a good employee. They had the right person in the job for dang sure. But he was easy to visit with. So it was easy for me to plant the seed. Nothing to it. It was casual, it was quick, it was easy. But what happens now? If you don't do any more than just that, just introduce the idea and the concept, I guarantee you it won't grow. Nothing will ever happen. I have got to go through the motions now of building the relationship with him. Walt Disney said what you got to do is make a friend out of people. The wagons of business turn on the wheels of friendship. And it's how it works, gang. But how hard will it be now to go back in and look for this same young man when I go into Costco? It won't be hard at all. And all I'm going to do at first is say hi. Then I'm going to nudge him a little bit more. Then I'm going to nudge him a little bit more. And then I'm going to say, by the way, take a look at this DVD on YouTube, okay? Because I don't have an inquiry yet. What I want to do is develop the relationship enough that I can put his contact information in my inquiry list. And that requires some follow-through. And this is where every one of you are too soft. You can't just talk about it once. You got to begin to build the relationship. Then you can get to the point where you can start to make something happen. I'm going to take you through all the 7 steps. Prospecting, building rapport, identify the needs and wants, presenting solutions, answering objections, getting a commitment, and then follow up and follow through. This is the one thing that great salespeople know and are good at, and the rest of us are pretty soft at. So, if you're going to give it a try, what we want to do is get good at it. And start tomorrow. Don't waste any occasion to talk to somebody, because all you got to ask them is what did they do, and invariably they'll come back and ask what you do. And all you got to do is tell them you're in the thank you business, guys. That's the most curious answer that you can ever give to somebody, because the next question is what in the world is the thank you business? And that allows you to talk about it, okay? The strength will be that you've got to shift your thinking. You've got to swallow some new ideas and some new concepts and literally give it a try. It is time for change. It's time for us to shift how we've been doing this business for a long time. I'm having a new shirt made, and across the yoke, across the back of the shirt is having a good time is my job. And then you'll put your studio on the pocket. And you'll get the shirts from me, and then you can go have your studio name put on the front breast pocket. And what you do is wear this shirt when you're in public. And it causes so much reaction. Every time I get on the plane with somebody behind me asks, oh man, I want a job like you got. What do you do? It's really a powerful tool, and we've used it effectively for many, 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 many years. So we're going to share it with you. The concept of what Paragraph has done in its career, from paragraphics to profitable hobbies, is a story. It's a really, really good story, and I'm trying to craft and get it all put together now before I'm gone and we're all out of the picture, because it's a really good story of a strong effort to succeed. But your story is a part of it. Everything I've written, anything I've written about us, let's talk about my story, how it got started, and then it was our story quickly. And now all we need is your story as the triple combination. And learning to sell your story is really important. You've accomplished a lot in your lifetime. You've gone in a direction no other human being has gone, and selling your story to me is, I got iconic elements to it, okay? An icon is the symbol of excellence. And so whatever you decide, I'll coach you, I'll help you, I'll be the devil's advocate a little bit till we get everybody's icons polished. You can change it as you go, but the more you get into a groove that actually works, the more I'm hoping you will stay right on it. Okay, it is a visual remembering tool of you, and it's not something that you can ignore anymore. I won't let you play in this sales team unless you have it. Okay. Now, to do a page in Google Plus is really easy, but most of you have not done it. And so what we'll do is start developing your communities. We'll start developing your pages. You can pick anything here you want to do and go forward with. And then as it responds, you'll know which ones you want to actually do more of. And so each of these concepts are ones that I'm grooming. They're ones that I'm getting in place, and they're ones that I want to kind of test the marketplace. I love ideas and I love innovation, and I love creativity. Creativity is one of the strongest concepts on the whole social media network front. A lot of people pride themselves in being really creative folks, and they're the ones who are mostly the ones making social media actually work. I really like the idea of hashtag this. Hashtags are so powerful anymore, and I'm going to put a concept where every week I put up a new hashtag this. So we're also going to play with Og Mandino's greatest salesman in the world. Today I begin a new life. I will greet this day with love in my heart. I will persist until I succeed. I am nature's greatest miracle. I will live this day as if it was my last. Today I will be the master of my emotions. I will laugh at the world, and today I will multiply my value 100-fold. I will act now. I will pray for guidance. I've talked often in this series about what this book did for my life, and I'm hoping you'll begin to sense the power of it for you as well. You pick up these concepts and repeat them, read it 3 times a day, each scroll, for 30 days. And the idea is to start having these concepts really rub off on your psyche. Today I will be master of my emotions. The tides advance, the tides recede. The winter goes and summer comes. Summer wanes and cold increases. The sun rises, the sun sets. The moon is full, the moon is black. Birds arrive, the birds depart. Flowers bloom, flowers fade. Seeds are sown, harvests are reaped. All nature is a cycle of moods, and I'm a part of nature. And so, like the tides, my moods will rise and my moods will fall. Today, I will be the master of my emotions. It is one of nature's tricks, little understood, that each day I awaken with moods that have changed from yesterday. Yesterday's joy will become today's sadness. Today's sadness will grow into tomorrow's joy. Inside of me is a wheel constantly turning from sadness to joy, from exultation to depression, from happiness to melancholy. Like the flowers today, today's bloom of joy will fade and wither into despondency, yet I will remember that as today's flower, dead flower, carries the seed of tomorrow's bloom, so too does today's sadness carry the seed of tomorrow's joy. Today I will be the master of my emotions. And how will I master these emotions so that each day will be productive? For unless my mood is right, the day will be a failure. Trees and plants depend on the weather to flourish when it will make their own weather. Yea, I transport it with me. If I bring rain and gloom and darkness and pessimism to my customers, then they will react with rain and gloom and darkness and pessimism, and they will purchase not. And how will I master my emotions so that every day is a happy day, productive one? I will learn this secret of the ages. Weak is he who permits his thoughts to control his actions. Strong is he who forces his actions to control his thought. This one right here, if you don't write that on your bathroom mirror and keep it right in front of your nose until it starts to take over and dominate what's going on, you cannot allow circumstances to unravel your possibilities. It is the most foolish position in living, to where your thoughts control your actions, where it should be just exactly the other way around. Each day when I awake, I will follow this battle plan. Before I'm captured by the forces of sadness, self-pity, and failure, if I feel depressed, I will sing. If I feel sad, I will laugh. If I feel ill, I will double my labor. If I feel fear, I will plunge ahead. If I feel inferior, I will wear new garments. If I feel, well, that one opens up the door right there, doesn't it? If I feel uncertain, I will raise my voice. If I feel poverty, I will think of wealth. If I feel incompetent, I will remember past successes. And if I feel insignificant, I will remember my goals. Today I will master my emotions. Henceforth I will know that only those with inferior ability can always be at their best, and I am not inferior. There will always be days when I must constantly struggle against the forces which would tear me down. Those such as despair and sadness are simple to recognize, but there are others which approach with a smile and a hand of friendship, and they can also destroy me. Against them too I must never relinquish my own individual control. Those such as despair and sadness are simple to recognize, but there are others which approach with a smile and a handshake. I must look back. That double slides now, and I'm sorry, Kate. If I become overconfident, I will recall my failures. If I overindulge, I will think of past hungers. If I feel complacent, I will remember my competition. If I enjoy moments of greatness, I will remember moments of shame. If I feel all-powerful, I will try to stop the wind. If I attain great wealth, I will remember one unfed mouth. If I have become overly proud, I will remember a moment of weakness. And if I feel my skill is unmatched, I will look to the stars. Today I will master my emotions. And with this new knowledge, I will also understand and recognize the moods of he on whom I can call. I will make allowances for his anger and irritation today, for he knows not the secret of controlling his mind. I will understand his arrows and insults, and for now I know that tomorrow he will change and be a joy to approach. No longer will I judge a man on one meeting. No longer will I fail to call again tomorrow on he who meets me with hate today. This day he will not buy gold chariots for a penny, yet tomorrow he would exchange his home for a tree. My knowledge of this secret will be my key to great wealth. No longer will I judge a man by one meeting. No longer will I fail to call again tomorrow on he who meets me with hate today. This day he will not buy gold chariots for a penny. Man, I got several of them in there. I must have been daydreaming today. Henceforth I will recognize and identify the mystery of moods in all mankind and in me, and from this moment on, I'm prepared to control whatever personality wakes in me each day. I will master my moods through positive action, and then I will master my moods. I will control my destiny. I am about to become the greatest salesman in the world. I will become master of myself, and I will become great. I remember reading these scrolls, and it's been quite a while since I've reviewed them, and it's been really fun for me to go back through that whole process from 40 years ago when I was so frightened as I entered dental school and just having such a struggle with the beginnings, pretty confident in the fact that I wouldn't actually become a dentist. And it's kind of true for most of us in most things. We just don't think we've got what it takes. And yet, if you can start changing your theories and your thinking in your head, you'll literally start to shift some really serious gears. The thing we've got to do is learn to match the interests of our customers, the interests of the people that we're talking with. And it's so much fun to talk to people about what their hobbies are. But the truth of the circumstance is you have to literally remember the 50-50 rule. Half will love what you love and half will not. That is the most normal number in all of sales. The number one need in the world right now is out-of-the-box ways to earn extra income. And I think we're it. I think we got the best thing on them since sliced bread, basically. That's probably a good way to say it. Today I will laugh at the world. No living creature can laugh except man. Trees may bleed when they are wounded, and beasts in the field will cry in pain and hunger. Yet only I have the gift of laughter, and it is mine to use whenever I choose. Henceforth I will cultivate the habit of laughter. I will smile and my digestion will improve. I will chuckle and my burdens will be lightened. I'll laugh and my life will be lengthened, for this is the great secret of a long life, and now it is my secret. I will laugh at the world. And most of all, I will laugh at myself, for man is most comical when he takes himself too seriously. Never will I fall into this trap of the mind, for though I be nature's greatest miracle, I am not still a mere grain tossed about by the winds of time. Do I truly know whence I came, or whither I am bound? Will my concern for this day not seem foolish 10 years hence? Why should I permit the petty things of today to disturb me? What can take place before the sun sets that will not seem insignificant in the rivers of centuries? I will laugh at the world. How can I laugh when confronted with man or deed which offends me so as to bring forth my tears or my curses? 4 words I will train myself to say before I become a habit so strong that immediately they will appear in my mind whenever good humor threatens to depart from me. These words passed down from the centuries will carry me through every adversity and maintain my life in balance. The 4 words are, this too shall pass. I'm going to laugh at the world, for all worldly things shall indeed pass. When I'm heavy with heartache, I shall console myself that this too shall pass. When I'm puffed up with success, I shall warn myself that this too shall pass. And when I'm strangled in poverty, I shall tell myself that this too shall pass. When I'm burdened with wealth, I shall tell myself that this too shall pass. And it does, gang. You just as well laugh because we all go through it. Yea, verily, where is he who built the pyramid? Is he not buried within its stone? And with the pyramid one day not also be buried under the sand, and in all things shall pass? Why should I be concerned for today? I will laugh with the world. I will paint this day with laughter. I will frame this night in song. Never will I labor to be happy. Rather will I remain too busy to be sad. I will enjoy today's happiness today. It is not grain to be stored in a box. It is not wine to be saved in a jar. It cannot be saved for the morrow. It must be sown and reaped on the same day. And this I will do henceforth. I remember learning this scroll, and I was in such tough circumstances in school. And it just grabbed my emotion. I would go up against it and think, I'm like, crap, am I going to laugh all day when I'm getting beat up so bad? And once you start to begin to make this a habit of thinking, then it begins to actually work. So don't discount it and not do it. If you're going to come play on this sales team with me and open up a whole new world for yourself, do this. Work these 7 scrolls for 30 days each, 3 times a day. I will laugh at the world, and I will laugh, and with my laughter all things will be reduced to their proper size. I'll laugh at my failures, and they will vanquish in the clouds of new dreams. I will laugh at my successes, and they will shrink to their true value. I will laugh at evil, and it will die untasted. I will laugh at goodness, and it will thrive and bound. Each day will be a triumphant only when my smiles bring forth smiles from others. And this I do in selfishness, for those of whom I frown are those who purchase not my goods. I will laugh at the world. Henceforth I will shed only tears of sweat, for those of sadness or remorse or frustration are of no value in the marketplace, whilst each smile can be exchanged for gold, and each kind word spoken from my heart can build a castle. If there's any one thing tonight, pull this one out and put it in your personal journal somewhere. Can be exchanged, your smiles can be exchanged for gold, and each kind word spoken from the heart can build a castle. Never will I allow myself to become so important, so wise, so dignified, so powerful that I forget how to laugh at myself and my world. In this manner, I will remain always a child, for only a child am I given the ability to look up to others, and so long as I look up to another, I will never grow too long for my bed. That's my problem. I am too long for all minutes. So as long as I can laugh, never will I be poor. This then is one of nature's greatest gifts, and I will waste it no more. Only with laughter and happiness can I truly become a success. Only with laughter and happiness can I enjoy the fruits of my labor. Were it not so, far better would it be to fail. For happiness is the wine that sharpens the taste of the meal. To enjoy success, I must have happiness, and laughter will be the maiden who serves me. I will be happy, I will be successful, and I will be the greatest salesman the world has ever known. I shared the first rule of better selling last week with you. That which you cannot measure, you cannot manage. And so we're going to make this a measuring process. It is a numbers game. The second rule is better seeds to plant. What kind of seeds to plant? And then cultivate those seeds until they bear fruit. It is a process. There is a way to go about it that produces decent results, and there's ways to go about it that do not. The third rule of selling better is you must tend those seeds. Guard and cultivate them until they bear fruit. So we're really moving in the direction now that I think if you're willing to do a little, you're not going to succeed very much. We just mostly fail because we simply just don't do enough in the process of trying to sell something. I have preached my 4 categories in managing a sales database till I'm blue in the face. And I wonder at this moment how many of you actually have an inquiry list of people that haven't bought yet, but that you've qualified them to a degree and gotten their name in here, their name and their contact information. Then how many of you followed through with inquiries and interactions with them to the point that they become an actual customer? But the real trick is not, these are the working databases. And the real trick is to get them to where they bought from you on a repeat basis. This one right here is the business. This is where a business thrives. It costs you as much to be in business to have inquiries and customers. Much as you make here, you spend. Where you make your money is over here when they come back and buy from you again. Power people are people that can help you that probably won't actually buy from you, but you're people that influence your decisions and can open doors for you. I think we've got the best little business package on the planet. This is such an incredibly good place to play in the marketplace and the economy because no one else is after it. Custom personalization is as good as it gets for turning income. And since you're coming back and sitting down with me on another show, I know you're crazy. So from each of us, once you start your studio and you start to build your studio and your name and build it around your iconic image that you're going to try and grow and build underneath your life, I think we'll have a really good chance of doing it together. Get yourself connected with TAM and Profitable Hobbies on a routine basis, and then let's go out and go after the marketplace and the economy together, gang, okay? Next week, I'm going to continue the secrets of selling our process and our process of our systems, and we'll get into the selling actual details. I got some really neat things to share with you, so if you can be sure and come with me next time. I want you to kind of begin to catch these details so that the moment I would like you to mimic this same selling circumstance. I cannot tell you how much we have impacted people with this carved wooden coin. And it's not so tough to get them, and it's not so tough to have the leaf pattern. And if I show you how to do it, in 3 minutes you can nail somebody so hard they'll never forget you. Over and over and over, people have said they've got their coin they carved with me. And what it is, I do one, and then they do the other. By the time I've talked to them here to here, we've got a sale eventually. So I think it's something that you all need to learn and be really, really aware of, because it just sends people right through the roof. I just published Trace a Line, and the one concept that most have trouble with is they don't think they've got the ability to learn this graphic art stuff. And the second they dawn on them that it's a pattern, and all you've got to do is trace a line, and you can learn too things start to happen. I put it up, and since we did our last show, we've had 20 more views. So it's just getting started, but I'm going to track this, and I'm going to show you this is a numbers game. That which you cannot measure, you cannot manage. What I'd like every one of you to do watching the show tonight, go right as soon as we close the show now, we're all finished for the evening, please go find on YouTube Trace a Line and pull this thing up, and then come in, and if you're not signed in and subscribe to Profitable Hobbies channel, please do that, will you? And then plus, put your thumb up, plus one it, give it a high sign, and help nudge it along. This is one of the tools that I'm going to build a whole series of these little YouTube video clips that you can put in people's lives that will help sell systems for you. I had Steve Lankard from Canada, or actually Alaska, call, and he's so pleased and so excited about his participation in that. So my first assignment in this new selling team, and I'm going to put you in, Ron Schneeberger's the #1 member. No, Chris Gardner has to be #1 member of the team, because that puts him in, this is all in Jocelyn's name, what we build and what we grow. Chris is first and Ron's #2. So as you kind of connect with me and let me know you really want to participate and you want to be involved in the selling of systems, then let me know. Send me an email, send me a post on Google Plus, something, so that I'm aware, and I'll begin to put you into this group, fold you in. But I want you to go find that video tonight and subscribe and do the like button, nudge this along, and then find Steve Lankard on Google Plus, okay? I want you to all get to know this guy. He is absolutely dynamite. He's a lot of fun, and we kind of use him as a really good example, because if you're that far away from humanity and you can build a business, it's possible to do it anywhere, okay? So become knowledgeable and participating. Go find my community, Google Plus Crazy, and sign up. I want you to become a social media doer here. If you're scanning Google Plus every day and you're not plus wanting and mixing and commenting, you're making a big mistake. It's the only way to do well here is to put a lot in, then you'll get an awful lot out. I want to read you David Amerlin's plus today, his post. I really admire this kid. He has just got his head screwed on. In the age of cognitive computing, there cannot be many things in the world that can remain hidden for long. The migratory patterns of birds was one of those mysteries that man simply could not crack. We lacked clear night vision even when we had radar, and we could not see patterns across radar images well enough. Even when we had the data, and the time required to squeeze meaning out of it all often exceeded our tiny lifespans. Complexity here looked certain to defeat. Not anymore. Using machine learning and smart algorithms, scientists across the globe are using algorithmic eyes to look up the night sky, and guess what? The darkness is teeming with life. Dive into this piece. It is a pretty amazing stuff. I have never seen anything in my lifetime, all my 70 years, that can match algorithmic what's going on with computerization of the web. And your participation now, we want to be one of the leading entities that moves into this function of how in the hell do we sell something with social media. And I'd like to have a hand in that, okay? Thank you for your participation tonight. Appreciate all you guys have been along for a while. You all know pretty well what we're doing. I just want to change the function of everything. I want it to be something that starts being productive in individuals' lives as well. Okay, Tamarie, you're on. Can you come and throw your 2 cents worth into this mixture, and then anybody want to say something, and we'll go from there.
I don't know whether you'll be able to hear me very well. Last time you couldn't hear me.
We got you.
We hear you.
Okay. Very good show.
Good beginning, huh?
Yes, very good show. The others have been too, but this one kind of hit home for me.
Okay, good. Well, the idea is to pick something up. Uh, I think what the Google Plus Stream does is plop ideas into your brain like a magazine what does for me over the years. You open a page and you see something that just goes nuts in your head. And I think that's signals. I think that's stuff you're supposed to see. It's things you're supposed to think. And I think creative thoughts and ideas and potential. Debbie, tell everybody what you told us in the green room about what just happened for you.
Earlier this week, well, it happened 2 weeks ago. My aunt passed away, and her funeral was she was in West Virginia and came up to Pennsylvania. Tuesday, I got a phone call, and what I didn't tell before, I normally don't answer phone calls if I don't know who's on the phone. I just let it go into voicemail. This time, I answered it. For some reason, I answered the phone. It happened to be the funeral director, and he wanted to know if I did engravings, and asked me if I would engrave on a urn cover that needed a death date on it. And I said, well, yeah, I could do that. It won't be exact because the other part was all laser done probably, but I said I can get really, really close. So he came over Tuesday morning. He brought it to me. When I opened it up, it was my aunt's cover for her urn. And when I told the funeral director, I said, oh my God, that's my aunt. And he said, oh, this is kind of spooky.
It is such a fun story, Deb. That's going to go with you the rest of your life.
Yeah, and he asked me he said, can you do it? I said, well, yeah, I can do it. He said, how long? I said, give me an hour. So he went into town and did something for an hour and came back. I got it actually done in less than an hour. I did it very good for the non-critical eye. They all loved it. I could have done a better job, I think, but I don't think I breathed the whole time that hour took place. I mean, I was just so nervous, but thank God for computers and printers and your printing paper that I could print it out on so that I could get the exact font, so it wasn't so I could match the font and everything. So then when my cousin saw it, of course, I said, this is my aunt. I said, I can't charge for this. The man, you know what he said to me? He says, you have a business. You're going to get paid. It's coming out of the estate, so don't worry about it. So
yes. Good. Okay. Yes. Excellent. What a fun story. I thought when you mentioned that in the green room, I've gone, oh, that just could not be better for what we're talking about tonight, because over the years, Deb, you've done this for a long time, and I am confident that you've lit the fire for a lot of other people, but you didn't even know it. You didn't even realize that that's someone you could have said, hey, I can sell systems and I can also teach. Now, I want to throw one more thing in before we finish tonight. We're working on another project right now that is horrendously significant, and Chris Gardner, my brother-in-law, is the one that's kind of dreamed this up. We've been nudging it along for a while. We've got a nonprofit organization already put into place now. We're putting the finishing details on that, but it will end up being something that will involve all of you, and we're going to take on some really neat national concepts and try and see if we can't involve what our system is. How many of you look at sitting down to do your custom engraving, sandblasting, or airbrushing as therapy? Anybody here really like doing what we do? Every one of you. And I've said for years, if I could never figure out how to sell this damn thing as therapy, I'd make a hell of a lot more money. So what we're going to do is look at it from the terms of, what's the best damn thing you can do as you retire and grow old is have something you love doing and getting paid to do it a little. It's not a get-rich scheme. There's no question. We don't make millions here, but we really do well for the time, unless it's our aunt's urn and we want to give it away. Debbie's right here, everybody. She's this angel that loves doing all this work and doing it for free, so we'll have to kind of keep nudging her along to get her to charge a little more for it. Mel, on the other hand, Mel is this ex-Navy mercenary. He doesn't mind charging for what he does, do you, Mel?
Get this thing unmuted. No,
Yeah,
I don't.
No, he doesn't mind, not one bit. When somebody wants a car window engraved, you don't mind charging a decent price, do you?
No. I mean, where else are you going to get it done in this area?
That's right.
Nowhere.
Nowhere. Nowhere. When have all of you ever had an occasion where you worried about the price of something and then you tell the price of what you're going to charge and the customer expected it to be even more, and you dawned on you instantly that you didn't charge enough? Every one of us have that trouble. That is the most amazing thing. You sweat over the price and then all of a sudden they're going, oh geez, I thought it would be even more. Price is a perception of value, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And the higher you perceive the value of it, so will your customer.
Yeah. Some really important lessons to learn. Any other? That I want to go forward with, and every year I try and upgrade each of the shows, and this one I'm going to go back and re-record it and try and put it into a package that's a little bit easier to work with. But I want you to start learning how to use our individual tools. So you've got an assignment tonight. As soon as we finish with the show, please go find that Trace a Line on YouTube and subscribe and one thumb up so that you're making it get some attention. And let's see if we can't begin to learn how to drive these things. We're going to put these kind of tools underneath every one of you, and then we'll drive each other. It's what we did when Robin Colson got her shot at American Family Home Insurance Competition. The INE network got her through the door. She would never have even gotten noticed had we not jumped in and voted for her. And that begins to be the strength of numbers. That's what we have that other organizations just flat don't have. Tammy? Do you have your hand up there for comment?
No, it was thumbs up.
Oh, thumbs up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was thumbs up.
All right. Okay, gang. Thanks for coming tonight. Keep your concepts. I appreciate your tips and pointers. Some of you have sold your whole lives, and yet most of you have not sold our system or our package. And we really ought to make a difference with this. This just ought to be where Tammy's not the only one selling systems. It's all of you. There's just no reason for you not to take advantage of it. And with Google Plus and how it functions, you can move into the publishing role in the economy so easy now. And it's just the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Okay, we've got a guy that does videos about carving and stuff and posts them over there on YouTube. And he doesn't charge anything. He's giving away everything that he knows. And if you'll notice how many followers he has and how much activity he has, it should help you begin to realize that when you give away everything, you're not doing the world a favor. You're not. It is okay to sell something, and it is okay to trade with other people. And everyone automatically kind of mentally balances your value and your contribution by how well you can actually do that trading. So let's just make this work, gang. Appreciate your participation tonight, and I think I'm shutting this thing down right. I forgot to turn it off.